What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. I'm back talking about more Game of Thrones. Episode 5 just aired on Sunday, titled The Bells. And let's get to it, shall we? For this episode, we're seeing the aftermath of what Cersei did. Daenerys is very pissed off, and she's going after Cersei and everybody in King's Landing. She set up of the episode, I guess, The Bells. It's basically Tyrion saying, you know, when you attack King's Landing, when you attack the Golden Company, Cersei's army, the Iron Fleet, everything. Once you hear the bells ringing from King's Landing, you have to stop. You have to stop, you know, fighting them. They're surrendering. And this sets up a lot of crazy shit that happens at the end of the episode. We have Varys and Tyrion. Tyrion doesn't really know much now. He's always been the knowledgeable person to go to throughout the series, you know, throughout the 8 seasons. And the past few episodes, the writers, the way that this character is written is really disappointing because he's my favorite character, one of my favorite characters of the show. And they kind of just make Tyrion like a supporting character now. He doesn't know too much. And he's trying to work with Daenerys, and Daenerys is really pissed off at Tyrion, and Varys is going to Daenerys saying, you know, Tyrion's not really fit for this job anymore. Eventually, Daenerys executes Varys early on in the episode, and the dragon comes in and just fucking scorches him. He didn't stop the fire! It really sets up the tone of this episode. But Tyrion, you know, is not good with Daenerys at this point. He's made a lot of mistakes. He's not thinking clearly, and he finds out that Jaime was kidnapped by Daenerys. And at this point, he's like, it's all or nothing. So, you know, he goes and finds Jaime, gets him out of there, and tells him where to go to escape, to find Cersei. I thought that was a really cool aspect. At this point, Tyrion doesn't give a fuck anymore. He knows he's going to die. So he's not listening to Daenerys, and he's the downfall of her. She's kind of becoming a villain and becoming very evil. So he's going to do whatever he has to do to help his family out, and that being the Lannisters. So he helps Jaime return back to King's Landing to find Cersei and hopefully end her once and for all. With that being said, Jaime showing up in King's Landing, and that's when Daenerys fucking just starts attacking everybody in King's Landing, fucking scorching the entire city. It's insane, like mind-blowing, like the CGI in this episode, and it really went super dark really fast. And with her just taking out the entire city, the Iron Fleet. This time around, they can't really shoot and hit the dragon for some odd reason. The way that Daenerys was like sweeping down lower to the ground. And she just fucking opening fire on everybody, destroying all the ships. And seeing Euron fucking flying off the ship and stuff like that. Daenerys is down to business, and she's gonna kill everybody that gets in her way, and she's after Cersei. And that means all the innocent people in King's Landing, you know, the families, the mothers, kids, anybody that's there, they're all pretty much dead. And I don't think I really cared for that, the way that it was written. For, you know, all of a sudden within one episode, she's become completely evil. She's become like this mad queen figure, like her dad, the Mad King. Just became like an overnight villain for some odd reason. And I understand kind of where she's coming from. She's been betrayed so many times. So many people, close people in her life, have been killed by Cersei and other people. Even with Jon Snow, him being a Targaryen, they have this disconnect now, so she's really has nothing left and nothing to lose, and that's where she just opens fire on King's Landing and just basically torches the whole city. With this entire massacre going down with the dragon and Daenerys, you know, all the people within the city are freaking out, you know, panicking, and like, how the hell are we going to get out of here? A few lucky ones that weren't burnt, they're trying to get out of the city to get somewhere safe. We see a lot of the characters. We see like Jaime is down there trying to get to Cersei, and we have Arya going after Cersei, and things don't turn out too great for them either, with this catastrophic event of Daenerys and the dragons opening fire everywhere. So the Hound and Arya kind of say their last goodbyes, which was really sad. The Hound went towards Cersei, and Arya kind of went back. One of my favorite parts of the episode, something we've been waiting for a long time, the Clegane Bowl between the Mountain and the Hound. Brother versus brother. We have a zombified Mountain now. We haven't seen his face in a long time since he's been brought back. He's always wearing the armor, always protecting Cersei. And he looks straight up like fucking Darth Vader in this episode. Yes! It was hilarious. You know, like a Darth Vader meets Varys, or Uncle Fester. He takes off his mask, his like armor and things like that. He's bald and all zombified, and it's really hilarious. Saw a lot of memes online about comparing him to Darth Vader unmasked. But the battle was fucking awesome. It was epic as hell between these two monsters, like duking it out till the death. And the Hound was like saying, "Why don't you fucking die?" You know, like he can't kill him, but they could have killed the Night King for some odd reason. He like put a knife through his body, and he just kept coming back and beating the shit out of the Hound until eventually they like fall over the steps out into the rubble, into the fire, and they like fell like 1,000 stories down. So you know they're dead at this point. But it was pretty epic. I meant the whole CGI, the whole battle sequence, the way that they set this up between these two mammoth characters. And I love the way they did the Clegane Bowl. I think it was really satisfying, and it turned out really great, and one of the best parts of the episode. And one of the biggest parts of the episode that really pissed me off and really annoyed me was, you know, the story arc that they're building around Jamie. For so many seasons, he's turned good. He's turned against his sister. You know, he grew up with her, he was in love with her, but he knows that she was evil. And from last episode to this episode, he's going after her, he's gonna kill her. And then he sees her for the first time after all this shit's going down with the entire King's Landing falling. He sees her and everything's fine. It was really anticlimactic because they're building up the story how evil Cersei is, and they kind of humanize her in this episode. They see her, you know, terror in her eyes. She's crying, she's scared. With Daenerys taking and burning down the entire city, she knows that she's not going to survive. I didn't really care for that because they built her up over all these years as this villainous bitch, and just her, you know, seeing fear and knowing that this may be the end, and then bringing Jamie into the picture of him completely hating her, wanting her to die. Then he just falls into her arms again, and then the entire rubble of the ceiling of like stones and bricks falls on both of them. They die. I wanted her to get her head cut off or burned alive by the dragon, or her and Daenerys duking it out. It just was really unsatisfying, and I hated the way they ended her character. Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 5, The Bells, was a pretty good episode. It's probably one of the best episodes of the season next to episode 3. There's been a lot of issues with the story and the writing this season, a lot of characters, a lot of arcs. To the final season, they're just making a lot of stupid choices that makes no sense, and Daenerys being one of them. I understand where she's coming from, losing a lot of people, being betrayed, not trusting anyone, but I don't really understand her wreaking havoc and basically demolishing an entire city of innocent people. I just can't get past that or understand that. You know, once the bells were rung, there was no more fighting, but of course she just kept going and going and going until she couldn't stop, like a mad queen. And you can tell that she's starting to really lose it, and somebody needs to take her out. Which leads up to the final episode of Game of Thrones ever, the series finale, episode 6. It airs this Sunday on HBO, so I'm definitely going to be doing a live video of that. Definitely a review. It's going to be interesting how they end this show, this amazing show that's been building up for so many years, 8 seasons. But I really hope for the series finale they iron out all these issues that they've been having all season long. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Daenerys' character after episode 5 and her killing so many innocent people. I don't know if it's going to be Arya or Jon. They're kind of setting it up to be Arya, but I think that'd be too obvious. I think Jon may snap out of it finally and see that, you know, she's very evil at this point, and he may end up killing her. But it's hard to say. I'm not sure who's going to take the throne, and hopefully they answer all the questions we've been having all season and have a really satisfying ending to one of the greatest shows ever made on TV. I'm going to give Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 5, titled The Bells, a 3.5 out of 5 Daenerys hair pieces. So I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of Episode 5, The Bells? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What do you think is going to happen in the series finale? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from King's Landing. Until the next Game of Thrones video review. Cheers!